We are back by popular demand this time around, rating people who probably won't get us in trouble. Villains who are mostly of age. And as usual, I have our fashion expert, Christian, aka Frugal Aesthetic, here with us.
Yeah,
thank you for joining me.
can bully kids as long as they're mean.
Where?
That's the rules.
Well, I mean, part of the problem is that we weren't bullying them as much as. You know what? Let's start. Okay, so unlike the students, we have the villains here in a random order because some know how to dress better than others, and we'll have the floor. So, let's start off. First, we have our independent villain, Gentle Criminal.
As opposed to the smooth one.
He does dress fairly smooth. Also, he's a YouTuber.
Oh, he really is a villain. Oh, what? This is the guy?
Yeah.
Look like a Zubat.
But he do kind of, yeah, it is a Zubat vibe. I kind of like the fit. Oh, we're rocking a solid
Pre-imperialist racism.
Nah, I could get a racist vibe.
This is before they crossed the Atlantic.
Wait, the
You know what I mean?
Conquistador? Yeah, this is Mayflower drip. This is pilgrimage.
This guy's
drip.
a YouTuber?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Fucking boomer. Get off the platform.
Yeah, bro. We have enough problematic YouTubers.
Are we doing tiers?
Yes, as we usually do. Nothing's changed around here.
Because the fit, kind of hard.
I think the fit's kind of hard too. Even with the pants that kind of puff up, like the reverse parachute pants. Like I kind of mess with it. And everything's practical. He's got a cane because he's old.
I don't think he's that old.
So, we are back by popular demand this time around, rating people who probably won't get us in trouble. Villains who are mostly of age. And as usual, I have our fashion expert, Christian, aka Frugal Aesthetic, here with us.
Yeah,
thank you for joining me.
can bully kids as long as they're mean. That's the rules.
Well, I mean, part of the problem is that we weren't bullying them as much as. You know what? Let's start. Okay, so unlike the students, we have the villains here in a random order because some know how to dress better than others, and we'll have to set the floor. So, let's start off. First, we have our independent villain, Gentle Criminal.
As opposed to the smooth one.
He does dress fairly smooth. Also, he's a YouTuber.
Oh, he really is a villain. Oh, what? This is the guy?
Yeah.
Look like a Zubat.
But he do kind it is a Zubat vibe. I kind of like the fit. Oh, we're rocking a solid.
Pre-imperialist racism.
Nah, I could get a racist vibe.
This is before they crossed the Atlantic.
Wait, the
You know what I mean?
Conquistador? Yeah, this is Mayflower drip. This is pilgrimage.
This guy's
drip.
a YouTuber?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Fucking boomer. Get off the platform.
Yeah, bro. We have enough problematic YouTubers.
Are we doing tiers?
Yes, as we usually do. Nothing's changed around here.
Because the fit, kind of hard.
I think the fit's kind of hard too. Even with the pants that kind of puff up, like the reverse parachute pants. Like I kind of mess with it. And everything's practical. He's got a cane because he's old.
I don't think he's that old.
No, he's pretty young. I think he's like late 20s, early 30s.
He's not that old. He's just white.
A gentle criminal's 32.
32. Mm-hmm.
Yo, but
Yeah.
honestly, gray hair looks pretty good.
It's just the Cornelius Hawthorne outfit that makes him look
Oh
old.
my God. Hawthorne wipes type beat.
This Cornelius Hawthorne. Jacob, put up Cornelius Hawthorne.
Yeah, pull up the clip of him saying his hair is 100% ivory.
Solid ivory is the only way to be assured of true follicular purity, while still identifying myself as a man of means.
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
You can excuse racism.
That's why he's got this gray hair, bro.
Yes.
General drip, I say B tier. If we're talking racism, that's an S tier.
Yeah, we're just getting warmed up.
We're off to a bad start. All right, let's keep it rolling.
B for bad start.
All right, next up, we have his partner in crime, LaBrava.
LeBron. That's Dory.
That's just Dory. It's Dory very tired. So again, just Dory. Again, are they really rocking the thick pant up top?
I like the earrings. I would wear those earrings.
I like the corset too. I think she pretty drippy and it matches her boy, Gentle. So
Oh, are they dating?
I think LaBrava likes gentle, but it's like a one-way street.
I like the fit.
I kind of like the fit too.
Hers is like okay though. Look at his silhouette though. Like he has a crazy ass fucking silhouette. If you look closely, it looks like he got two belts on.
Bro, you know how we feel about the two belts though. We hate that.
Gentle got the Ava undercover gloves. Jacob pulled those up, the purple ones. He got the Ava X undercover gloves. Those are going for like $1,000 on Grail.com. And she just got basic white gloves. She got some cute heart earrings though.
All right, I would say C then. Let's go C.
Yeah.
Dory said you would never catch me wearing those pants.
Dory, pull up Ava
Dory-
gloves from Grail.com.
Before we move on to the next one, just a warning, this dude's a little gross. Moonfish.
Oh.
I hate this motherfucker.
Oh.
Bruh.
He had a straight jacket too? Kind of hard. What is his power?
His power is teeth.
His power is teeth?
His mask is keeping his teeth open. Like it's keeping his mouth open.
Why is it named Moonfish?
Wait, is the moonfish the fish with the messed up teeth? Hold up. Let me Google this.
I just googled moonfish meaning, and the second most asked question is, why is moonfish called moonfish?
Yeah, bro, I'm looking at an
Yeah.
actual moonfish, and it's because he looks like a fucking moon.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it fits kind of hard.
I mean, dude, a lot of people who rock the stray jacket, like the common white seems to be the in-season color, but homeboy hit the black.
You got like old school military. That could be a full Arc'teryx bodysuit,
God.
man. Like that could
Although I
be
don't-
crazy.
But now I this is the one time the double belt has purpose. One to keep up the pants, the other one to lock your arms in place because you're insane.
do you think he like takes that off?
No, how?
Okay, so like, does he sleep? Does he shower in
Bro,
this?
I don't looking at this mom. I don't think he showers at all.
What if he takes his? Does he keep the straight
Bro,
jacket
how
on? Or
does
does
he
he wipe
brush
his ass
them
with his
teeth?
teeth? Does he wipe his ass with his teeth?
I want to say a high B again. I kind of want to.
Yeah, I'm giving it the B tier because it's kind of hard. Is he? This guy's a villain or a hero?
Take a guess. I want you to take a wild guess on his alignment.
With how he wipes his ass with his teeth, that's a hero in my books.
The hero. Next up, we have the muscle man himself, Muscular, very aptly named.
That's his name. That's his power.
He can continue to grow muscle strands onto himself that make him stronger.
So he's human. So he's regular. So he's normal.
Adrian, drop the buff pic of him in the chat.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I mean, it's kind of gross. It made me kind of uncomfortable. It made my dick move, but not in the good way. I don't know, man. I feel like this is like a D for me. Like, he really just took off his hazmat suit working at the chemical plant and then said, I'm gonna beat up some kids.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
he looked like he just got back from his union job.
And he got the normal black boots.
Now he's wearing the Balenciaga Crocs, Kurt.
Wouldn't they have the little holes in them?
Dude, Kanye's been like wearing the Balenciaga Crocs like nonstop.
Bro, I hate that. I hate
Bro,
that.
wait,
I
hold
hate
up, hold
that.
up.
That
He's
is
kind
terrible.
of dripped up a little bit because Kanye been wearing those.
Bro, that's
That's
another
Kanye
villain on
in
the
that
list.
mask.
That looks like, if you told me this was Moonfish, I'd agree.
Because of the Balenciaga Crocs, I gotta put him in the C tier at least.
We could go with C, but good God.
I know his name is Muscle, but his biggest flex is the Balenciaga Crocs.
That was terrible. It's not a flip. Next up, this little kid has probably committed some war crimes. Mustard. What the fuck?
Yo, he got the Gundam Zaku mask?
It's just his school uniform. His power is gun.
No, his
His power is gun.
mustard gas.
Yeah, it's gas, but really, how does he defeat people with a gun?
I gotta say though, he got the Prada pocket gloves on.
Are you
and I
fucking?
could
How do you
I
know
could-
about this? That's
he
a
got
Power
the Pro-
Ranger glove, bro.
he
That's
got
a
the
Mighty
Prada-
Morphin ass.
He got the Prada pocket gloves on, bro, and I gotta give it to him for
Nah,
that.
he
one.
looked like he about to hop in a Megazord with those.
But he got the gas mask crazy.
Bro, the gas mask isn't gas though. I don't know, man.
No, this is when you got like a bunch of cool pieces that don't work together. I'm down to put him in the D tier.
D tier for sure. Next up, we have the villain, Mr. Compress.
Oh no.
I think this kind of fire.
The coat's fire.
Bro, the coat is
Drip
incredible.
immaculate.
I feel like the pieces match up nicely. This looked like a Met Gala fit. This looked like what Rihanna could have came as.
He got that. Yeah, exactly. He also has
What are you looking for?
his gloves. Hold on.
Why are you glove focused?
Bro, because the gloves go crazy. He got like Ava fucking, he got the Oscar drip, bro. Probably A tier. I'm giving him the A tier.
I'd say A2. That's clean. Our first A at the very least. Next up is the villain Skeptic.
Oh, I'm kind of skeptic.
Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical myself because I don't know, man. It's nice if we're gonna like, you know, go on like a business meeting. I mess with the turtleneck on the suit. That's always a fit.
Nah, bro, this LLC Twitter is boring. There's nothing going on.
It doesn't have any pizzazz. He got some big ass feet.
Yeah,
Nah,
he
look-
got some long feet.
Yo, he got some long feet.
His shoe size ain't on the clock no more. What is this? Is that a hood?
No, that's his hair.
Oh,
Yo,
man.
get them bangs together, bro. You know what? If he had different haircut, I think I'd give him a better. Like, I feel like hair is a part of the drip. Like, your cut.
I think if he had gloves.
Shut up. Give him some white gloves in the cane, our boy
No,
Compress
he
had.
needs black gloves. He needs to complete the all black look. If he had black gloves with like rhinestones on them or like knuckles on them, I'll probably give him at least the C tier. He also, wait, hold up. He got some long hands.
That's why he couldn't wear any
Boy.
gloves.
Boy, got
He
some
couldn't find no
long
gloves to fit,
hands,
dog.
bro. Raising your hand, you get Wi-Fi when you raise your hands, bro. Finger
Oh.
foods to him means totally different. Bro can eat
Finger
like.
food is an entree. I say D, maybe C.
Yeah, I'm giving D tier. This is boring.
And I'm usually good for all black.
Nah, but the suit's not even cool.
Next up, we have Trumpet.
Yeah, I feel bad because all of these Metal Liberation Army folk are just like,
Bro, they're
so
trying. I mean,
boring.
this is better than Homeboy, although he looks like a Catholic priest in mourning. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, nah, this is also kind of boring. I don't even want to make a funny joke for you, bro.
He looked like he trying to pick up girls at the funeral.
Bro, this looks like Penn and Teller. Who's the tall guy from
Penn, yeah, Penn is the tall one.
Yeah, he looks like Penn. Does he not?
He looks like Penn after
He
Teller
looks
died.
exactly like Penn. Are you kidding me? Penn and Teller, I barely know her. You look like Penn from Penn and Teller, bro, but you ain't got no magic.
I don't know how I feel about the black shoes and the midnight, like.
Nah,
the
bro,
deep
they're not even
blue.
black. They're brown.
Are they brown?
Yeah, look at them. They're brown. ugly brown too. The shoes are like an ugly brown.
He didn't have his glasses on when he was shopping. He thought he bought all black, but he got deep midnight blue, everything else. And I don't fuck with it. I say D.
Yeah, you ain't tricking nobody today, bro. Put you in the D tier.
Next up, we have Kurogiri. Yeah.
Oh,
See, this is a lot better. This is clean. I love his little neck piece. And I've gone on record to say I hate a lot of people's neck pieces.
He got the gloves on.
Bro, those, for all you know, these are gloves.
Man, he looked like Ghastly.
If we're gonna go the formal drip, at least there's some color here. It goes with his whole thing. This fits. This looks way nicer.
Without him being like a supernatural being, the fit's kind of lame.
Nah, but it you gotta add it on to his being, just like how the hair is a factor.
Yeah, but well, with the
But
being,
yeah, if he was, I agree. If you put Homeboy,
if you put like Penn and Teller's head
yeah,
ass in that outfit, it's still
you're
lame.
like, you really do look like you about to do a show. You look like you about to take my car and park it
You look
somewhere
like you
for
about
me.
to valet me. Yeah.
Yeah. He literally is a bartender.
Yeah, but
And-
now he looks like he's about to valet my soul. Yo, talk about wine and spirits, you know?
Yes, sir.
The sleeves are ill tailored, bro. Like, look how
Oh yeah,
much
they are.
slack
They're
there is.
bro, talk about
There's
bury
so much
me
slack.
loose.
Yeah, bury me loose
Loose.
sleeves, bro.
Yo, bro, be loose sleeves. I would say high C.
High C, as in you a bartender, get me some high C and vodka.
I just like the canon that we're judging all these dudes' suits saying their ass, and you're wearing a Runs with Scissors shirt, and I'm wearing a hentai shirt.
Hey, man, it is what it is.
Next up is the hero killer Stain.
Oh, so he kills the hero in My Hero. Bro, oh my God, he got the Rick Owens Geo baskets on.
What?
We got the exclusive sampled only Chrome Hearts Geo baskets, man. Jacob, put the Rick Owens Chrome Hearts dunks on here.
Oh
That's
my God, they do look like-
crazy. Honestly, bro, because of the Geos, dude, this is gonna have to be the S tier. What the
I'm down with an S. I like the accented colors
Oh
too.
my God, he's going
Also,
crazy.
his power is he can stun people if he tastes their blood.
He's stunning me with that drip. I'm telling you that.
Yo, yeah, he's killing heroes and the fit.
This is all archive Rick, and he got a sword too. This is the S tier. Oh my
Bro,
God, this
if
is
you add a
drip.
sword to any fit, one time I went to the bowling alley with Adrian and I wanted my fit to look real nice, so I brought my sword, and honestly, it helped.
You brought a sword to a public place.
I did.
That's
It
what I
did,
was
and I looked
saying.
drippy as hell.
You brought a sword to a public place?
Don't tell me this shit on your hip don't look cool though.
Walks into the car with his sword, and I'm like, dude, we're going to Long Island.
You really
Fucking
thought I was gonna
Long
take it out the
Island.
car?
I was so scared, dude. If one cop were to
But
just
we
look at
put
the
In the
car,
parking
We
lot.
put racism aside though. This on your hip looks kind of cool, bro. Come on.
yeah.
Bro, you about to get slain by this guy if you got that on your hip.
I mean, he's got it on his back.
He's a villain.
This is a
Nah,
fire
that's an S
fit.
tier.
I say S tier.
100%.
Next up, we have this guy, Spinner.
I barely
We
know
where
her,
there it
though.
is. Yep. Now Spinner takes inspiration from Stain. Stain is his hero.
The real Ninja Turtles are orphans, and he still found a way to get found a way to get isolated from his family. That's
Yeah,
how much
man,
we
this
don't
is
like
a-
him.
I
Bro, you
honest- it
biting
just-
his drip?
He literally is. He literally is because he was inspired by him. But
He got
it doesn't
Yoshi's
fit.
egg on his chest.
Bro, he is Yoshi, and he
Yeah.
didn't even have the Rick Owens.
Yeah, he ain't even got the Ricks. He
Bro,
just got
these
some
are-
regular old boots
Bro,
on
these are
with knee
some.
pads.
These are some FUBU. What the fuck
Bro, he
is
got
that?
Yeah, he got a golf club set on his back.
Compensating much, dude? And he didn't even take the shit off his back that he had there before.
Nah, put him in the F tier, bro.
Yo, that's
This is
a F
sad.
tier, bro.
This is
for
sad.
fuck,
You're a
man.
lizard, bro. I'd rather pick the Geico lizard than you, bro.
Next up is Get 10.
Bro, I'm getting this schmuck.
Yo, I'm getting
this.
away from him, bro. What's under? Why is it so dark under your hood, bro? Why is it so
Why
dark?
he got the worst posture of all time. You get in back problems later in life. What's his power?
Ice manipulation.
Ice manipulation? That's Johnny Dang. He looked like he hunched over like this, and this is all you hear. I got that jacket, actually. Hold on. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Shut the. All right, that's much better. He went from yo, do you have any games on your phone to where to hose at? Real quick. when he took down the hood.
Yeah, I think without the hood, he's kind of cool.
That coat is pretty drippy. I'm not gonna lie. How much did the jacket cost?
This jacket, this was like 500.
Yeah,
But that
so
jacket, since it's long with the real fur,
and it's got the fur on it, bro.
couple stacks.
Yeah, this is
couple
some
stacks
racks,
for
bro.
sure. We can put him in the A tier. I'm
Yeah,
gonna stay
stay
like
A
this
tier.
because I'm gonna be dripped up just like him.
Next up, we have the very poorly named Slide and Go. I hate this.
Oh nah.
I hate this. This Barney
No
the
way,
dinosaur.
that's a real character. He
Wait.
got an arrow pointed at his dick. No way,
It's
I'm
going
trying to
past
slide
his
and go.
dick. Yo, what's his power?
It's just sliding.
Oh, he slide? What a dumb bro.
Hold up, listen to this. I'm trying to slide and go in your girl, if you know what I'm saying.
Bro, he trying to slide in for sure.
Did you guys play Ratchet and Clank? Who's the superhero from Ratchet and Clank? The big guy?
Oh,
Captain Quark.
Captain Quirk. There you go. That's
Yo.
Captain Quirk. Why he look like a 1980s Batman villain?
I hate that he got the wave cap on that go over
Oh,
his
he got a
eye.
wave. Yo, Jacob, put some waves on him.
Yo.
Wave check. His waves crazy. Put him in the C tier, but get an alternate angle where he got the waves.
The waves.
Put him in the S tier. though.
Give him the earrings too. Give him earrings
Yo,
too.
make him look like Buzz Lightskin.
Yo, give him the beard too.
Jacob, put Buzz Lightskin's head on Slide and Go. Put him in the S tier.
Make sure he's got the heart, the Drake heart, and
Yeah,
the
make sure he
hairline,
got the
too. Yeah, give him the CLB heart.
Slide and Go in your shorty.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
he's about to slide and go real quick. Next up, we've got Magne. She really just came out with a normal fit though. She looks like a trucker.
Oh yeah, can I get 20 into pump 5, please? Premium.
She looks like she's like the Civil War was about states' rights. Head ass. Am I wrong?
I saw this girl actually on January 6th at I can't put my finger where though.
Where specifically? What's her power?
Magnetism.
Oh, you know why? You know why she got magnetism? Because she got the COVID vaccine and it made her magnetized. And she stepped in front of Congress and was like, look. Oh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, it
Thank-
worked earlier. Okay, you know what? She's not as bad as Spinner. Give
Yeah.
her the D tier. She looked
D
like she
tier.
don't belong in My Hero though. She looked like she belonged in King of the Hill.
I used to go to a school called Licking Heights, and for context, it was right next to a farm. This is some Licking Heights drip. She drove a tractor to school for sure. Next up, we have Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I mean, Ray Destro.
Bro, this is Teller.
This dude slaps your girl's ass. What do you do?
I'm calling Perry the
Platypus.
Platypus.
Yes, sir. Dude, yo, Dominic Doofenshmirtz really went on the come up, bro.
Yo, Dr. D drip.
His quirk is called stress, and it converts stress, anger, and frustration into power.
I'd be stressed out if I was trying to take over the tri-state area and a marsupial was trying to stop me every day.
On God, his fit isn't bad. It's
Nah,
better
it's
than all the
lame.
other
No,
suits.
his fit sucks, dude.
It's better than
his
all the
d-
other suits.
Nah, he got the Walmart shirt and tie though.
He make all these machines, but really, what he really needs is a dripinator.
Yeah, he need a dripinator. D
For
tier.
dripinator.
D for dripinator.
Next up, we have Curious. I'm curious as to her age, real quick.
Color palette goes everywhere.
You're counting in her blue. If she was normal skin colored,
No, but you can't say that because she's blue. We didn't exclude Mr. Ghastly's outfit because he was also a spirit.
no, I was counting it. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's what I
skin
mean. We
tone and color
we
matter.
cannot discount her skin. So, color palette, kind of whack. She looked like Misato when she found out that Shinji was only 5 years old.
Oh my god.
She got scared that she realized she kissed a minor.
Oh, I mean, she was probably more scared that she was gonna die in about 8 seconds.
Bro, this looked like Ghost Misato. This is Misato after she died.
The quirk is called Landmine.
Yeah, because Misato exploded, so that's why she looks like that.
Anything she touches can be given explosive properties.
Yo, imagine she...
Oh my god.
Something gonna explode.
Yeah, bro. Keep that in, Jacob.
Keep that in.
I honestly don't like her fit.
I think her fit's whack, dude. We can put her in the D tier.
I'd say, honestly, I'd say F.
Wow, you're putting her next to... I kind of want nobody to be F except for Spinner, dude.
She looks like, you know, like back in the day, people would make like Sonic the Hedgehog fan characters and they just color swap. She looks like a bad color swap.
Yeah, but you putting her next to Spinner, bro?
Low D.
Low D.
Oh, cool.
Low
So it'll be
D. Yo, Spinner, this
could put on
test is
some
graded on a curve and you
weapons
really
and
suck
armors.
at
Is always
right
useful.
now.
Next up is our big bad All for One.
Oh,
Thoughts?
bro, this is Ghastly's dad. Yo, that neck thing is crazy. The color scheme works. He built like Brock Lesnar.
Nah, I feel like Mr. McMahon.
Oh, he does.
type of
Look-
vibe.
What is his head, dog? He got the craziest dome.
Can we get a picture of his head? You just show what he actually looks like.
Oh, nah.
Yeah.
Smooth face.
Nah, his head do look like a nutsack.
Why he biting his lip?
The rest of his head look like a nutsack, but he doing the light
Nah,
skin
but he
face.
doing this. I'm trying to carve the certified lover boy
Yeah, let's go
heart
ahead and
into
get
his
another
skin.
certified lover boy on our boy. Go ahead and give him some waves. And
Yo, Jacob, give his skin some waves.
Yeah. His whole skin, instead of the testicle texture, is waves.
What's your skincare routine? I put a do-rag on my face. He got waves on his skin. Give him some earrings, too. Give him a beard. This is actually Logic's dad.
Shut the fuck up.
You know what? Just because of the waves, I think we gotta put him higher up. I think we gotta put him on the S tier for the waves, bro.
Dap him up. Actual fit, I'll say C because it's probably
Yeah,
one of
put
the
him on
better
the C tier
examples
regular,
of
but
the
Jacob,
suit.
put him with the waves.
Yeah,
though,
right next
put him
to,
in the
Buzz
S tier.
Lightskin.
Next to Buzz Lightskin.
Like how we've slowly been more and more degenerate as we've
Wavy. We getting wavy.
speed up.
Yeah, move next.
The flame villain Dobby.
Oh.
Lean.
Yo.
Latest.
With this.
Bro, so Dobby's ability is fire, but he looks all messed up because his fire is very, very hot. But the fit kind of fire too, for being
Kind
honest.
of a
I kind of like it.
dumbass, though. Kind of an idiot. Wearing a short sleeve shirt when you got fire powers, dumb ass. You got fire powers and you're not wearing like a long sleeve shirt at least,
Nah, it'd catch on fire.
or like a hat.
Oh, okay, yeah,
like a
brawler type
fireproof
stuff,
suit.
you know,
Yeah,
gloves,
maybe a
bands.
fireproof suit, but
knuckle
damn, you
dusters.
Burn your hands complete, your arms completely. You kind of, I mean, dude,
How does
he
he have
literally
hair,
burned
though?
bags.
Fucking
on
sock and
himself.
boppers.
Girls want to smash this guy, which I want to point out.
Bro. Nah, he's the same like Pete Davidson, like Goblin Cook head ass, like skinny white boy that looks like a heroin needle.
Yeah,
you
this
know?
is he does heroin, but I can fix him type beat.
Yeah. Like he looks like a cigarette, like the filter of a cigarette post smoking it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he
look
literally
like
is
he need
that.
to be ashed. You know what I'm saying?
He is Ash. I kind of like his fit though.
A tier.
I'd say A.
Yeah.
It's a
I
really
like
good
the flames.
fit.
The flames are good accessory.
Yeah, it matches his fit. Like all
Yeah.
the colors
See,
work.
this is how you
Even
work
his
with the
burns
blues.
add on. He
Yeah,
kept
no,
that.
his burns. He got the contrasting burns.
Yo, if he was wasn't horribly disfigured, I think I'd have to rank it down.
Yeah, honestly, if he was normal, I have to bring him down. But
Yeah.
because he's f***ed up, I can fix him.
Yeah, I could fix it.
A tier.
All right, next up, we have the cloning hero twice.
This is a luchador?
He do look like he about to be in a match. Looks like a bad Venom symbiote.
Yeah,
I don't know,
was going to
man.
say, he looked like a symbiote.
Honestly, kind of a whack fit. I don't know. It just doesn't appeal.
He like one deviation away from Disney shoving a lawsuit up his ass.
You say he Venom, but he's in Times Square trying to get pictures with
Yeah,
people.
like he looked like he about to ask me no tip, buddy. Put him in the D tier.
I say D tier for like, damn, no tip.
Damn, no tip, buddy.
Basically, his whole thing is that he can't, well, depending on where you're watching, he has to have his mask on or he feels he'll fall apart.
His outfit's one of those like weighted stress blankets.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's a great way to put it. Because his ability is to clone himself and other things. But the thing is that his clones and him don't know that they're the clone. They all think they're the real thing.
Bro, why is that like a trope in every single cloning power? Like Invincible and all that. Like dog, we get it.
Speaking of which, I didn't even realize they look the same.
They do have the
Oh.
same fit. What's up with all these clone
Nah.
fits?
Put him in the D tier. Also, put the Invincible clones in the D tier too.
No. Put the first one in the C tier. And the second
Yeah.
one in the D tier.
Yeah, and then make a third one with waves and put him in the S
S
tier.
tier.
You got this, Jacob. You got this.
Next up, we have Himiko Toga. I
What the
like her fit personally, even though it is a school
you
uniform.
bringing weapons to school?
She consumes the blood of someone. She can take on their form, and after the latest villain arc, she can adopt their quirk whenever she takes on the form of someone else.
I'm about to make every single person in that school take like a HIV test,
Oh
Take
my
their blood?
god,
get every single power.
yo!
Right? Right? Hear me out.
Thank
Hear me
you,
out.
Christian. It is just a school uniform, but it's probably one of the drippiest ones. I always mess with the casual cardigan.
Bro, I don't understand how you're critiquing around the gas tank on her shoulder.
I don't see the problem, bro. That's how she collects blood, man. Everyone's got their own thing.
So is she walking up to people pricking fingers and stuff?
Pretty much, yeah. Also, I love her little teeth, her teeth neck thing.
I appreciate it because she has to work hard. You know what I mean? There's people out there with like teeth,
With teeth.
like teeth that move on the
No,
by
just with teeth.
themselves. Yeah,
There's just people out there with teeth.
She going out there trying to prick your blood. I appreciate the hustle. Jacob, give her some waves too. B tier, but then Jacob, give her some waves. You know where she's going. The
Yeah,
wave
move-
tier.
There's a tier above the S that's W, and it's really shiny.
Yeah, wave. Waves.
All right,
Yeah.
we're moving on. Next up is Overhaul. I thought I would give it a higher one, but now,
I'm confused. Jack is kind of fire though.
and I kind of like the high pants with the shoes. Like, that's kind of a vibe these days.
Yeah, he got the gloves.
Hey, yo, what's under that mask, bro?
How about we overhaul him and give him some waves?
Yeah, you take off that mask on the front, it is waves.
He got waves on his mouth. Yo, give the fur on the jacket some waves,
Waves.
Jacob. We gonna
Yeah,
make
that's
you
some
work
waves.
today, Jacob.
Although it looks a little like off, I kind of like the fit.
Fits pretty. It's okay. I like the jacket. I think the mask throws off the colors though.
I wish the mask was kind of black or her like black and white.
Yeah.
That was accented by the jacket's
C,
green.
what are
and
you
purple.
thinking? C tier or B tier?
I say B though, because I don't know.
Yeah, we can put him
For
in the
some,
B.
I'm really messing with the ankle length pants.
Yeah,
With
he
the
got
shoes
capris on. I'm
cleaned
down.
up.
Put him in the B tier. But Jacob,
Yeah, and go ahead and put the
Put the
wave
waves
version of
on
him
'em.
in the W tier. Last, but certainly not least, we have the current big bad, Tomura Shigaraki.
whoa, I'm confused. What am I looking at?
Nah, this looked like one of those computer-generated images.
Bro, this is that photo that I posted about my
yeah, it's
Spotify
like one
rap.
of those computer-generated images that looks like it is something, but you're unsure.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's,
what I'm.
it's
The same
almost
energy.
something.
Almost.
And your brain identifies it as like there's something in there. Man, he just got one too many hands on. Like,
I need a hand with figuring out what he's supposed to be. This guy gotta have like an insane power.
his power is the ability to make anything he touches crumble
Bro, and
to
he got
dust.
so many hands.
And yeah, it's a complex. And also after the last arc, he gained the ability to make things crumble without touching it, or
Oh my
rather.
god.
Isn't one of those hands his dad's hands?
That's crazy.
So all right, so basically the point of the hands, it's each of them are like his family members.
Oh my
Because,
god.
yeah, each of them symbolizes family members to him, and the one on his face is his daddy.
So you got all this crazy apocalyptic power and you decided to throw on some red Roshi runs, bro?
Bro, I kind of with the Roche runs though. They
Oh,
kind of
now with the-
I
with
don't
the
know,
bl-
man.
With the black lace swap? Oh no.
All right, the black lace swab is mid. He do got gloves. He got
Oh,
gloves.
he has so
technically.
many gloves.
He got a lot of
Honestly, the concept of this character and the outfit is fucking sick.
gloves. Yeah, I like it. I think he probably just has one too many hands on him.
This is hyper pop as a person. I'm down for A or S, but honestly, I think just because of the powers and just his aura, S tier for me is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Okay, but Jacob, you know what to do. Give him some blue waves, and we can put him in the wave
And make each of his
tier.
hands caps, like wave
Yes.
caps.
Each of his hands have do-rags.
I can't wait to see the edit cut that just says, "I'm not doing any of this. I'm not doing any of that."
It's funny because this one, we were not out of pocket.
Well, we still got the heroes to do, which are
Oh, we haven't even done the heroes?
no, that's another episode. So yeah, if you want us to rate the heroes, share this up. Let us know in the comments and who we should do rating, or if we should rate any other series. Christian, where can we find you?
You can find me doing the heroes one next.
Ayo.
That's what's finna happen.
We can find him at Comic Sans IRL
Yeah,
on
follow me at
Instagram.com.
Comic Sans IRL on Instagram. Put my Twitch link on the screen.
And check him out at Vans at the Met Gala on Twitch.
There we go. Put some waves on my Twitch link. There you go. Okay, now I'm good.
That's it. We'll catch you on the next flight. Peace.
Peace. Wave check.
Oh, what's up, y'all? Yo, thank you very much for checking out that video. We had a blast making it, and of course, as usual, let us know if you want us to make another part. But of course, you know, I gotta do my usual thanks to our patrons, especially Matthew Hennis, Sugar Joe, Andrew M, Drew Warnes, and of course, Eric Totora Patu. Thank you all very much for supporting the channel, supporting the fam. We appreciate y'all. And as usual, I gotta hit the question, so let me pull this up. Camila Paez, I believe, said, "What's a topic you would really like to cover on a video, but you know it wouldn't have positive reaction or just low engagement?" I'm a huge Danganronpa head. Matter of fact,
It's quite obvious. I like Danganronpa.
however, because I've got like a programming head, so I know it's not always gonna work out in terms of like a video. Like, it's something I would like to talk about, and maybe like VNs in general, but I know it's not something that I think would do super well. But it is something I care about a lot, like VNs, like AI Insomnium Files is great, 999, all those Tukio games type stuff. But I love those style of games, and I'd love to talk more about them, but not everyone's gonna peep those. But yo, thank you for the question. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time.
So, today's topic is going to be a fun one. Today, we're going to be talking about mental health. Yeah! As you can see, I am playing armchair psychologist today. Okay, I know that's not exactly what we would call a fun topic, but I can at least make it entertaining by tying it in with anime. I want to take a nice little examination of a dear new friend of mine. Her name is Komi, and if you haven't heard, she has a little trouble communicating. God, that's so corny.
I mean, I liked it.
For those of you who don't know about this anime yet, Komi Can Communicate is an adaptation of a manga by Tomihito Oda. It follows high school student Hitohito Tadano in his journey to help the beautiful, yet painfully socially anxious Shoko Komi make 100 friends at school. Komi's anxiety is so bad that it has rendered her mute in front of her peers, and it makes it nearly impossible for her to take part in even the most basic of social situations. Komi Can Communicate is certainly not anime's first foray into mental health. March Comes In Like a Lion paints an honest depiction of how mental illness makes it hard to take care of yourself as well as others. The film A Silent Voice shows us how both kindness and cruelty can go a long way for someone's psyche in their most formative years. Neon Genesis Evangelion, one of the most critically acclaimed anime out there, tackles the ways that trauma can take over our lives and affect our relationships with other people. Because nothing says, I need therapy, more than the desire to revert back to primordial soup with the homies. These examples definitely lean on the more dramatic and tragic side of the anime spectrum, but hey, mental illness is not exactly a happy subject matter, so it's better to portray it how it is rather than make it into some like quirky schmaltz with nothing really important to say. You know, I'm thinking like Hallmark Christmas special. Komi, however, is a little different. The picture this anime paints of mental health is one that I find to be rather candid. When I say candid, I mean that it feels real in the sense that it's sad to watch Komi suffer so much with her anxiety, but it can also lead to some more lighthearted situations that feel more in line with my own experiences. Now, I am by no means a doctor or a master on the subject of mental health. As a daughter of a lawyer, I will tell you to not take everything I say as the full truth. However, I am someone who suffers from pretty bad social anxiety, so I can greatly empathize with Komi, and I can let you know in the show what feels realistic and accurate from my neurotic little perspective. So
Haven't seen
Komi
the
Can't
series yet, but I'm
Communicate
interested.
classifies Komi's condition as a communication disorder. This is a pretty general term, so to be more specific, I would say what she has is an extreme case of social anxiety. Like the name of the anime suggests, she can't talk to people, she has trouble looking anyone in the eye without making those big ooh cat eyes, and she doesn't know how to express her feelings without letting absolutely everything out on a notepad. Yep, that to me sounds all too familiar. Her being almost completely nonverbal in the beginning may feel a bit extreme, as she can't even answer a question in class, but I'm positive that there are people out there who find it impossible to answer a teacher's question without wanting to puke their guts out. I even found a post on the Komi-san subreddit discussing how she may have a case of a less common but very real version of anxiety known as selective mutism. What I find to be most relatable about Komi's depiction of communication disorders are the patterns of behavior that she exhibits in front of Tadano and the others. In the first episode, when Komi first confides in Tadano about her condition, she runs to the blackboard like a skittish little cat and writes down what I like to call her thought loops. It's that never-ending stream of what-ifs and intrusive thoughts that plague your mind and kind of render you mentally immobile. What if I trip and fall in front of my classmates? What if they think I dress too weird? What if I open up my mouth and they think my voice is annoying? What if I open my mouth and talk about? What if the world ends right now? Sounds pretty wild from somebody else's perspective, right? These loops are, however, very real patterns of thought that Komi and I both go through in any given social situation. Writing that previous paragraph kind of put me into a thought loop again. So, woo! This video is gonna make me very dizzy. It's the reason why I sometimes get anxious going to cons and even meeting fans. I'm kind of worried sometimes that you'll meet me and be disappointed because I'm actually a lot more shy and introverted than these videos suggest. Anime NYC, although really fun, was actually pretty tough for me, especially if you saw me in that crowd. It was really nice meeting you guys, though. Don't take it like that. Oh man, I'm really opening up here. I hope people like this. These wild thoughts grow even more relatable in the later episodes when Komi begins to blame herself and even express some self-hatred for all sorts of things that are out of her control, going as far as to push Tadano away so as to not get either of them hurt. That self-blame game is such a big part of anxiety, and it can really warp your own self-perception. So it's sometimes good to have a friend like Tadano to help pull you out and make you realize that, like, things aren't always your fault and people don't hate you as much as you think. I'm hoping that as more episodes of Komi come out, she can learn to eventually tackle these anxious thoughts. If she can learn that at the end of the day, her worries are really nothing more than just thoughts and use that to grow as a character, then I'll be really impressed. Manga readers, no spoiling. No! She dies from being too thick. Another thing the show does well is depicting multiple characters with social anxiety. Besides Komi, there's also Himiko Agari, who gets extremely nervous when being stared at and asked to do tasks that involve public speaking. Now that's what I like to call relatable, fellow kids. Unlike Komi though, Agari is still able to talk to other people and is capable of making friends, but she still takes great value in her alone time and gets easily flustered when confronted with something that's out of her comfort zone. This sounds more in line with people who suffer from a more generalized anxiety disorder or people who are just painfully introverted. I love the scene where Agari and Komi are too afraid to talk to each other, and so they both get the wrong idea about how the other person feels, when in reality, Komi just wants to ask to be her friend because they both have anxiety problems. It feels like such a realistic situation because anxiety has a way of tricking your brain into thinking that every stare and every remark is that person saying that they want nothing to do with you, when in reality, they probably want to be your friend. Hopefully those friends don't turn out to be massive masochists that want you to treat them like dogs, but you get the point. This leads me to my next point. Komi Can't Communicate does a wonderful job of not only depicting the heartbreaking side of anxiety disorders, but also the more lighthearted side. I'm not gonna lie, having a communication disorder can feel extremely crippling at times, but there are also moments where I can't help but look in the mirror and kind of laugh at myself out of pity because of the situations I've gotten myself into. All of the awkward conversations, all of the unrealistic thoughts, the idea that going to a party makes me feel like I'm being chased by a tiger. It's silly! Maybe I'm just someone who copes with dark humor, but sometimes I just can't help but laugh. Komi loves to capture that silliness with its unique oddball characters and situational comedy. Although Komi can't make friends, everyone at the school still worships her because they think her silence is just her being a cool, mysterious beauty of high class, rather than the anxious mess that she actually is. Komi herself is often compared to a cat because she's cute, skittish, and everyone seems to have the wrong idea about her. Who remembers the scene where Komi tries to order a frappuccino and gets too scared to tell the barista that he got her order wrong? Or the scenes where people think Komi is a crazy yandere because of her 1,000-yard stare? Although embellished for the sake of, well, you know, anime humor, these all still feel like pretty realistic situations for someone who suffers from anxiety. The tone of this anime also shows something that's very important for people to know about mental health. It's that there are people out there like Komi who suffer not because of any one particular event, but because their brains are just kind of wired that way. Komi's had her communication disorder since childhood, never being able to make friends because that's just how her brain works. In anime, or really any other media depicting mental health problems, it's almost always caused by some sort of tragedy or traumatic childhood event. And look, I get it, because trauma is something that is extremely common for people who suffer from mental illness. It also is a better storytelling device, as it better explains why characters act a certain way and why they have certain motivations. This, however, can be kind of limiting to the stories about mental health that we want to tell. Trauma is so serious that it kind of sets the tone of the story to be so. There's not much room for laughter because it's, well, inappropriate and fucking weird to laugh at someone's trauma. If you left the theater for a silent voice laughing rather than crying, well, I don't know if I ever want to approach you in person ever. It also makes it harder to show different perspectives. Mental health problems don't only arise from trauma. Some people suffer because it's genetic, and others suffer because of the intense pressure that society places on them. Japanese high school students in particular deal with all sorts of internal conflicts because of the intense pressure on them to get good grades. Brains work in such mysterious ways that really anything could be the cause for a mental shutdown. Although I suppose when you think about it, societal pressure is kind of a form of trauma within itself, and a genetic case can come from a case of intergenerational trauma, which when you really makes sense when you think about it if... I'm stuck in a thought loop again. Well, I love that Komi takes this approach instead. We still empathize deeply with Komi. Our hearts still break for her when she cries and gets frustrated, and we can't help but shed a tear of joy for her when she overcomes an obstacle. However, we also get to see a goofier side of it all because we know that she has the power to change and better cope with her problems. And I'm not saying that anxiety disorders should be depicted on screen as something that's quirky, or a goofy Hallmark special on why you should be nice to people on Christmas. Yes, I am still on the Hallmark specials. I think they should rather just show them as something that's, well, honest. Yeah, anxiety is something that takes a great toll on people's lives, but it's also something that you can learn to live with and even sometimes, dare I say, find some laughter in. If I could compare Komi to anything else, I would say that it's more like a very anime, less intelligent, high school version of BoJack Horseman. Yeah, that's gonna make some heads turn. Story-wise, no similarities at all. I'm saying this because BoJack manages to find that perfect balance between hilarity and heartbreak, just like Komi. Sometimes there will be scenes where everyone is laughing and playing together, threatening to carve out a piece of gravel for daring to scrape Komi's knee. Other times, there will be long moments of painful silence as Komi sits alone at the pool, listening to others laugh while she's all by herself, wondering if her simply existing is making others unhappy. Also, like BoJack, not only Comey, but every other character as well is suffering from some form of communication problem that they slowly learn how to cope with. Not every character gets it right, and sometimes it leads to some very wacky situations, but what's important is that they're all learning and growing. I'm hoping that also, like BoJack, the characters will start to become a lot more three-dimensional so I can grow more attached to them and get in my feels when they find their happiness finally. Oh, Diane. Komi Can't Communicate is proving itself to be one great anime about mental health. I adore the candid message that it tells its viewers. Just because they have trouble making friends, it doesn't mean that they don't want to. Discussing mental health can be difficult, especially in a medium that is meant to be entertaining first and educational second. It is, however, great to have an anime out there that talks very openly about mental health and shows both the bad and the good. I cannot wait to see how this series wraps up, and I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the anime in the comments below. Does Komi's experience feel relatable to you at all? What are some other anime that you enjoy that also successfully depict mental health? Please, let's keep this conversation going. And to all those watching who also have anxiety or are just really suffering from any other battles happening in your head, just know that you are never fighting this battle alone. There are so many ways to reach out to help and so many others who can share your experiences. If you ever see me at a convention and you're feeling a little too anxious to say hello, just know that I'm probably in the same boat, but it's okay, because we can get through this together. I am Lovely Dory, and thank you so much for watching Beyond the Bot. See you at the next therapy sesh. Stay healthy, guys. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching that very special episode of Beyond the Bot.
Posture check,
Apologize if I
hydration
make
check,
this
do a
sound
stretch,
little
save your
sickly and
progress.
delirious. I received my booster shot yesterday, and the side effects today are making me feel quite poopy. But I'm still very excited you guys enjoyed that video. It is one that was very near and dear to my heart. For anybody who's been following me for a while, who may remembers when I used to stream, I actually had to stop doing that because of my social anxiety. Maybe one day I'll get back to it, but I really hope that this video is able to connect with a lot of you and show you that you're not so alone in the situation. Big thank you, as usual, to our patrons, especially our high rollers, Matthew Hennis, Ashuga Joe, Andrew M, Drew Warrenis, and Eric Tortorapatu. Thank you so much. I promise I will stop talking in this really awful accent. Again, delirious. As for our question, this comes from Victor Sanchez over on our Patreon. And his question is, are there any anime that you loved back in the day but that have aged poorly for you, or on the flip side, that you didn't like when you were younger but are much better on a more recent rewatch? I guess off the top of my head was, I loved Digimon a lot as a kid, but then I remember after we watched the Digimon movie for the Beyond the Botcast, it kind of just made me realize how, like, that's insane that was. And I wouldn't say it aged poorly, but it certainly, I have a much different perspective now as an adult. I'll say that. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Get your boosters, take care of yourself, and don't push yourself to the limit today like I am. Bye!
Hello, my beautiful doves. My name is Mina, and today we're going to be talking about dieting. I don't know if you guys made any New Year's resolutions this year. I think mine is just to learn French. I've been on Duolingo for about a week now, and I've been doing it every day. And I sound like a little bit better than Emily from Emily in Paris. Merci. Have a bonne journée. While I was thinking about New Year's resolutions and trying to come up with my own list of resolutions, I was thinking about how some of the most common ones tend to be like, oh, I'm gonna exercise more, which really should be my resolution, but here we are. Another really popular one is to lose weight. And I get it. It's plague year number 3 we're going into, and most of us don't go out as often as we used to. A lot of us who would be going into the office are now working remotely at home, sitting around in pajamas with adjustable waistbands all day. And also, we've just survived Thanksgiving and the holiday season, so yeah, I understand why this is a very popular New Year's resolution for a lot of people. But then I got to thinking about society's obsession with losing weight to begin with. So what I have found, I'm going to share with you all, and it's a lot. It's a lot, so let's dive in. Thank you, Ritual, for sponsoring this video. So speaking of New Year's resolutions, if you want a simple and easy goal to achieve, you can try incorporating a daily multivitamin into your routine to support your foundational health. Ritual multivitamins provide key nutrients we need on a daily basis. Every day, you take 2 capsules that provide 9 high-quality nutrients with no shady additives, fillers, or colorants. I like Ritual above other multivitamins out there because I appreciate the transparency they have about the ingredients they use. You should know everything about the things you put in your body, and Ritual even takes it a step further and tells you where they source their nutrients from and the environmental impact behind these choices. The vitamins are vegan-friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, allergen-free, and contain no added sugar. Ritual also currently offers a women's multivitamin, a men's multivitamin, a 50+, prenatal, postnatal, teen vitamins, and even proteins. They have a subscription service that delivers a bottle to your door once a month. Right now, Ritual is offering 10% off your first 3 months, and you can use my link down below or my code MINALEE to get started today. Also, just as a disclaimer, this video will be talking about dieting practices and we'll be discussing fat phobia. So if those are triggering topics for you, I recommend you skip out this time. So let's start in the 19th century. I know a lot of you who've been watching my videos are like, Mina, why do we keep starting in the 19th century?
It's because a lot happened, okay?
Most historians will agree that the late 19th century is when the dieting craze started. But that's not to say that people weren't dieting or there weren't like anti-fat campaigns before the 19th century. I believe the earliest documented public anti-fat campaign was in the 1670s in Europe, but it's important to note that back then and really up until the 20th century, having a little bit of weight was a good thing. Like thinness was associated with starvation, disease, poverty. Fatness, on the other hand, was associated with health, longevity, beauty. And so, needless to say, these early anti-fat protests were largely ignored by the public. It was then in the 18th century in Great Britain that obesity started to become classified as a medical problem, and this coincided with just a larger cultural debate on conspicuous consumption. For those of you who don't know what that is, conspicuous consumption is basically when you just buy things or consume things for the sake of showing off your status and wealth, not because you actually need those things. So like think of a guy driving a Ferrari in New York City, you know? Or in this case, if we're gonna relate it to food, ordering everything on the menu even though you couldn't possibly eat everything. Early advice manuals for gentlemen warned about the dangers of overindulgence, of overeating, saying that it was unmanly, ungentlemanlike, and un-English. And yes, you heard me, I did say unmanly because back in the 19th century, dieting was mainly a man's problem. There was also an article published in 1855 that argued about how being overweight was the plight of the upwardly mobile. This article was talking about how old money people, like people who were born into riches and wealth, they from a young age learned about the dangers of living comfortably and developed these control mechanisms to prevent them from like overindulging. The new money man, on the other hand, aka the man who was getting money for the first time thanks to his employment, he was at risk. The article said, the new money man has no other resource, no hunting or cricket to take up his attention, no lectures to attend, and the consequence is that beer and tobacco commences the day, and tobacco and spirits wind it up. Such a man suddenly finds all his energies going, his mind dull and enfeebled, his body weak, flabby, and bloated. So we can see that a lot of the 19th century discourse around dieting was mainly to push men into being better members of society and to get rid of their vices. On a more subconscious level, historians Keith Waden and T.J. Jackson Lears have both suggested that as the US became more urban, fast-paced, and homogenous, people dieted or controlled their bodies as a means to cope with their anxieties about this new chaos. In the mid-19th century, there was also this growing concern that men and women were becoming too similar, like men were becoming too feminine. With the growth of the bourgeoisie class and the managerial class, there was now a whole group of men that would, in a previous century, have been laboring in the fields, but were now sitting in these very sedentary professions. And God forbid, they were getting a little fatter. The soft body was stereotyped as being a very feminine trait. At the same time, there's also this paranoia that women were becoming a little bit too masculine because women were starting to become educated. Women were starting to participate in politics. So now there was this like anxiety to further separate the genders again. This consequently led to a new fitness culture that promoted manly outdoor exercise and sports. Then, in 1863, William Banting published the first best-selling diet guide in the US, called A Letter on Corpulence. The guide was aimed at men, of course, and suggested a diet regimen that featured food associated with masculinity, wealth, and racial superiority, like red meat and alcohol, and required men to eat 4 meals a day. Banting was also a believer of this very, not true, not scientifically backed idea that being overweight was a personal problem. It wasn't hereditary, and if you had enough willpower, you could will the fat away. As for women, whatever dieting advice existed out there was initially ignored. In an 1865 issue of Harper's Weekly, a diet expert complained that overweight young women could not be convinced to diet for anything, even in cases in which their weight severely impaired them, because they were only interested in having fun, sleeping in, and spending time with young men. The beauty ideal for women was actually at its softest and heaviest between the Civil War and the early 1890s, because plumpness was once again associated with very positive traits like motherhood, respectability, and sexual availability. On the other hand, thinness was also associated with a lack of fertility. And you're gonna love this one. A text from 1893 suggests that women eat a third less as soon as they turn 45 years old. You hear that? Once the clock strikes midnight, because their ovaries shrivel up and no longer need to be fed. We don't feed our bodies to get fuel or energy for the day. We feed our bodies so that our ovaries can get enough fuel to create children. Oh, Victorian doctors. Believe it or not, there were even publications to help women gain weight, such as the very popular 1878 guide, How to Be Plump. Of course, it would be like a total oversimplification to say that no woman was dieting in the 19th century. If a woman did diet, it was done in private, and we don't really know because of that, like how many women dieted, but we can at least see from magazine articles of the time period, there were a number of women who wrote to editors asking for dieting advice. For example, in 1868, Godey's Ladybook and Magazine published a short explanation of the Banting system, and in September 1869, Viola asked the editors of Harper's Bazaar self-help column how she could buy Banting's book in the US. Early women's rights activists also encouraged women to pay attention to their diets and also to start exercising. Rachel Brooks Gleason, one of the first female American doctors, even recommended her female patients to follow Banting's advice to gain more muscular fiber. And in an article from 1890, Eliza Putnam Heaton asserted that there is no reason why, provided she has sufficient willpower, a woman should not mold her figure to her liking. This brings us to another interesting idea. At the time, dieting could be considered to be a tool of bodily control, a tool of rebellion. Rather than only men being able to diet, women were asserting that they also had the self-control to do this too. And this may sound really dumb and arbitrary for modern day people, but at the time, we have to consider the climate, the social climate, you know? There were some women who chose to fast, and these fasting women were viewed as having supernatural powers or being clairvoyant because it was just so strange for a woman to have the same self-control as men. By 1896, the Boston Daily Globe reported that dieting had become the craze for women. And it goes without saying that as the slimmer figure started becoming in vogue, the rounder, stouter figure started to become out of vogue. Katharina Vester said in her article on dieting in postbellum America, in this cultural climate, Jewish women, immigrant or American-born, were often imagined as overweight, which increased the pressure on them to control their body weight in the attempt to gain assimilated middle-class status. This pressure is possibly why the American Jewess, the first English magazine for Jewish women, published expert dieting advice several years before other women's magazines endorsed the topic. Similarly, Black women were also targeted. The mammy caricature was artificially fattened up in popular culture, and this body was also a symbol of revisionist history of a South that had fed and treated its enslaved people generously. Of course, people are built in all shapes and sizes regardless of race or ethnicity, but these stereotypes serve to prove how society deliberately tried to exclude Black women and other like non-WASP women from ever being viewed as beautiful in the popular culture. While the origins of dieting started in the 19th century, really, a lot of historians do say that dieting as this aesthetic craze didn't come about until the early 20th century. And what I mean by that is that in the 19th century, dieting was more associated with good health, but historian Roberta Said notes that the first significant thinness craze was between 1919 and 1935. I want to take a look at a case study at Smith College, a women's college, to show you guys how cultural norms shifted over a couple decades. But first, we have to really understand what it was like there at the end of the 19th century. In the late 1800s, female students were actually encouraged to gain weight. And this is because it was essential for college women to appear healthy in the eyes of society. Critics of women's higher education claimed that academic life would destroy female health, and they used scientific backing, scientific in quotation marks, please note this, that using your brain would usurp the body's finite resources and deplete the female reproductive system of blood, nutrients, and energy. Yes, everything goes back to the reproductive system. They basically claim that college women would become infertile at the cost of higher education, and the human race would die out if too many women decided to get educated. So weight gain was supposed to show that women were actually healthy in these learning environments. One student, Charlotte Wilkinson, wrote to her mother in February 1892 that it was her ambition to weigh 150 pounds. So this was the late 1800s. By the 1920s, if we look at the letters that college students wrote to their families or their diary entries, we start to see that now they were focused on reducing. Reducing was the term for losing weight, and at this time, it meant mostly cutting out sweets and starches, working out more, and not snacking in between meals. But of course, with any kind of dieting craze, there were people who took it to an extreme, and it manifested in very unhealthy practices. For instance, student Dorothy Dushkin wrote an entry in May 1922 saying, "Resolved once more to cut down my diet. Betty and Fran's chief topic of conversation is dieting. It is extremely wearisome, especially since they are both slender. I shall try once again to exert my willpower. I'm not going to say a word about it. I'm not going to foolishly cut meals and starve on certain days and relax on others as they do, but attend all meals and refrain from eating between meals." And in 1920, college physician Florence Gilman wrote, "Never have we had such a large proportion of seniors who are tired, nervously tense, underweight, anemic, with low blood pressure, showing a condition of depressed vitality. These things are found in students who have not been ill for the most part." So what shifted? Why were these students who 20 years ago would have been trying to gain weight, why are they now losing weight? Well, on a larger societal level, according to anthropologist Claire Cassidy, slenderness symbolized the freedom from want. The wealthy are able to switch the bodily metaphor of success from fat to thin because they do not need to worry about famine or infectious disease. They can go beyond the message of fat, look how much abundance I have, to a more etheric model. I'm so safe, I can afford to ignore abundance. But it's important to note that most of these college students didn't write in their diary entries with this level of class consciousness. Most of them wrote about how they wanted to lose weight because they wanted to look better or because all their friends were doing it. With that said, a major reason for this dieting craze was men. Up until 1910, college was mainly homosocial, as in girls would hang out with other girls, have parties with other girls, etc. However, by the 1910s, students would bat, which was a term that referred to groups of students and their usually male guests motoring to a rural off-campus spot to picnic. Early Smith students also used the term date to mostly refer to hanging out with a friend, usually another woman, but by the 1920s, the term date almost always referred to going out with a man. Historian Beth Bailey notes that dating moved courtship into the public world, relocating it from family parlors and community events to restaurants, theaters, and dance halls. And unlike courting, the goal of dating was not necessarily to get married, but to raise your popularity status. And to get more dates, you needed to look your best. And looking your best in the 1920s meant following the very thin flapper look and wearing the most fashionable clothes. But unfortunately, if you were fat, much like today, it was harder to find fashionable clothes, especially because couture was slimming down. In a 1923 interview, French clothing designer Paul Poiret even talked about his unwillingness to dress fat women. He said, "We do not pay much attention to fat women. They are the infirm among the fashionable. We cannot do anything special for them. They have merely to trail along the path of la mode. Their case is not for the dress designer, it is for the physician."
I guess nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
And ready-made clothing, which was becoming more and more available due to industrialization, gave women an idea of what their bodies were supposed to look like and where they existed on the spectrum of available sizes. So let's talk about the flapper. Margaret Lowe claims that before World War I, there was actually a number of different beauty ideals that women could fall into. There was the natural woman, who had a curvy but not extremely hourglass figure, the voluptuous woman, who had an extremely hourglass figure, and the Gibson girl, which had a linear but sensuous shapeliness. There was only one beauty idea now, the thin, straight figure. And if you couldn't mold your body to fit into that shape, then it sucks for you. You may have been hot like 10 years ago, but you're not anymore. The flapper represented youthful modernity. She was slender, flat-chested, and small-hipped. And because having any of these features is usually a genetic thing, not every girl of the 1920s looked exactly like the flapper, but they at least followed the straight silhouette thanks to the undergarments available. According to Lowe, these straight lines signaled adherence to the new sexual codes of 20s youth: dating, petting, fast dancing, and freedom from parental supervision. Another contributing factor to the slimness craze was the development of new food science. Building on mid-19th century German research, American food scientists were pushing for this idea to choose food based on its nutritional value rather than its taste and appearance. On top of recommending people to reduce fats, sugars, carbs, and proteins, they were also recommending
calorie counting.
Chin Zhao writes that this emphasis on calorie counting was in part stimulated by the US government's World War I food conservation campaign. The government was invested in conserving meat, wheat, fat, and sugar for domestic and allied troops. Because these items were calorie dense and the dry goods among them were relatively easy to ship overseas. So it was only after the war that calorie counting became a phenomenon for weight loss. You may or may not have also heard of Dr. Lulu Peters, who was an infamous diet promoter and who published numerous popular articles and books that recommended restricting calories for weight reduction. Following in her footsteps, numerous doctors also wrote to women's magazines and journals telling women that they should count their calories not just for themselves but for their families to keep everyone at the right weight. This all inevitably led to a larger social disdain for being fat. And the effects were devastating. In 1927, home economist Lydia J. Roberts said, "In this country, the calorie is a familiar word in the vocabulary of practically every adult, and anyone who doubts the possibility of popularizing it should observe a group of 10-year-old children counting their calories." Little children were counting their calories as well. There was a girl named Dorothy who even wrote a letter to Dr. Peters in 1924 saying, "I am 11 years old and weighed 136 pounds, which was too much." And for men, because I haven't forgotten about the men, most of them who decided to calorie count were doing it to gain muscle, not to lose weight. So now dieting for weight loss was a predominantly woman-targeted arena. Lastly, I want to talk about the post-war era, so the 1950s to 1970s, because I feel like this was the time period that really set the precedent for what dieting is today. In this era, we get diet pills, slimming clubs, and before and after photo advertisements. So yeah, let's get into that disaster. The reason why this era was such a profitable time for the dieting industry was because during the war, national interests were prioritized over individual interests. Nancy Gagliardi mentioned several factors for the diet rebirth post-war. The first is the rising middle class. Middle-class families were rebuilding their post-war lives through consumerism, and housewives, which have been primary advertising targets for a while now, became the diet industry's core demographic as well. The second reason is that food technology and marketing strategies were becoming more and more sophisticated. The mid-century was the golden age of processed foods. Artificial sweeteners appeared just about everywhere, and consumption of it rose from 5 million pounds in 1963 to 17 million pounds in 1969. The artificial sweetener market also led to a booming diet soft drink market that was valued at $660 million in 1965. The third reason is that the media, especially with the popularity of the television, was becoming more and more powerful, and constant headlines and fear-mongering programs about the nation's growing weight problem and weight-related diseases were seeping into the public consciousness. This is in part because in 1959, U.S. insurance companies published the Build and Blood Pressure Study, which at the time represented the largest body of information relating body weight to mortality. If you want more information on the obesity epidemic, I highly recommend listening to the Maintenance Phase podcast, specifically their episodes on the obesity epidemic and is being fat bad for you. But in sum, this study was bullshit. There were not enough control variables. People just didn't understand statistics that well, I guess. But subsequently, this idea that being overweight led to early death was leading to a public scare, and obesity was largely pushed as being a behavioral issue. An interesting idea that I came across while reading Nancy Gagliardi's article, and I say this is interesting because I'm against dieting, just in general, but she does mention that dieting is not necessarily like a complete awful thing. There were plenty of aspects involved in the dieting process, such as planning, shopping, and cooking meals, which resulted in a sense of agency. There's also social aspects as well, like Weight Watchers, which was founded in 1963 and offered a community space for women to talk about their insecurities. Before I open the whole Weight Watchers Pandora's box, I want to talk about appetite suppressant pills or diet pills, specifically this pill called AIDS. AIDS? AIDS.
AIDS are tasty caramels for dieters. AIDS contains one of the most effective appetite suppressants you can buy, and AIDS contains no stimulant.
So why don't you let AIDS help you lose weight and keep it off?
AIDS helps you stay the way you want to be.
Ads for this pill were the first of the 20th century to use the before and after weight loss story template, involving the stories of real women, written in first person, of course, and using emotionally descriptive, dramatic language. This was powerful and is still a go-to advertising strategy for diet companies today, but the reason it was so powerful in the mid-20th century is because before this time period, women who were dealing with problems were told to just keep it in. And especially for fat issues, a lot of women, prior to these ads, were just not visible. Nita Chin Heilman wrote of the social stigma for fat people at the time. You never see fat people. They never go outside, they stay home because they can't walk without getting out of breath, and they can't climb on a bus. You never see them at the movies because the seats are too small. They don't even go shopping because people laugh. Diet pills were not necessarily new. They were prescribed for weight loss as early as the 1930s, but by 1949, sales climbed to $7.3 million and continued to rise through the 1950s as competition increased.
Ladies, stay fit and trim the easy way with amphetamines, the pleasantest way to reduce.
The market for appetite suppressants was estimated to generate $153 million in retail sales in 1960. And whether most of these worked is up for debate. If you watched Mad Men, you'll remember the Relaxicizer. That was a real thing, like a vibrating belt that was supposed to help you lose weight. Sounds like a scam to me. So let's get into Weight Watchers and other slimming clubs. I don't know if the structure of Weight Watchers has changed since the 60s, but at the time, the business offered classes that gave weight loss guidance, tailored food plans, a weekly weigh-in where women would have to weigh themselves on a scale in front of the class, and the emotional support of fellow slimmers. The experience was, of course, different for everyone. I did come across testimonials of women who liked their experience just because it offered a time for them to address their own feelings and to get solidarity from fellow women. Other women, like a woman named Jackie, who was part of Weight Watchers in the 1980s, said that the classes could be a bit cringeworthy and it could be also humiliating and shameful if at the weekly weigh-in, you didn't lose any pounds or you gained another pound. In the fall of 1967, Weight Watchers UK held a fashion show at Bentel's department store. It was a promotional event that included huge blow-ups of the models' before pictures so that viewers could see how different they looked now. Leah Kent criticized the transformation trope, writing for the book The Body Ready. The fat person, usually a fat woman, is represented not as a person, but as something encasing a person, something from which a person must escape. And it's important to also tell you guys that the slimming clubs had very not good rates of success. From a survey conducted in 1975, 63% of the participants regained some of their lost weight and 16% reverted back to their before weight. These slimming clubs did not care about changing the lifestyles of women, about raising their self-esteem and body image to prevent them from getting into these like binge behaviors. Instead, they just focused and prioritized this arbitrary number that was supposed to represent like premium objective health for all women.
She thinks, well, I'm fat and I need to lose weight, not, something's going on in my brain.
Right.
And maybe the solution here is a brain thing and not a body thing.
Like, you can be alarmed by your binge eating behavior and try to work on that behavior in a way that is not necessarily about weight loss or about seeing yourself as a fundamentally failed person.
And yes, there were a minority of men who did participate in these slimming clubs as well, but Bernice Weston, the founder of Weight Watchers UK, recollects that men frequently said they joined for medical reasons or because they were frightened when one of their friends died from a heart attack. Women were more likely to say that they hated the way they looked. So here we are today. Some things have changed, even though like there are still staggering eating disorder cases and numbers of women who have very low self-esteem because of their weight. I feel like we are crawling towards progress thanks to the work of activists who promote body acceptance. Though the BBL trend did set us back a couple years, but progress doesn't go like this. Progress goes like this. As for my personal opinion on diets, as I've said, I don't like diets. And I understand that's a very like general statement because there's a number of dieting practices out there and not all of them are scams probably. But I think it's a problem that diets tend to mostly appeal to people with already low self-esteem. And I think if you go into a diet with low self-image, with low body image, you're going to be prone to developing an eating disorder. The National Eating Disorders Association even released a statement in 2019 as a response to the Weight Watchers app, saying, in a large study of 14 and 15-year-olds, dieting was the most important predictor of developing an eating disorder. Those who dieted moderately were 5 times more likely to develop an eating disorder, and those who practiced extreme restriction were 18 times more likely to develop an eating disorder than those who did not diet. Also, like, you know, a lot of dieting programs, they utilize this negative body talk, which is just not healthy.
As of 2011, 93% of women reported engaging in social quote-unquote fat talk.
Yeah.
Which they sort of define as this practice of like expressing dissatisfaction with their own size or talking about like quote-unquote feeling fat, right? People who engage in this kind of fat talk have like significantly weaker romantic relationships and friendships. So like relationships of all stripes are weakened by this. Weight Watchers is a place that has sort of systematized and participated in the popularization of this phenomenon, right?
I also think there's a lot of truth about what Naomi Wolf has written about women being overly concerned with their appearances. She's written about how American women, whenever they achieve greater status in society, there are pressures that force them to consider their appearances a little too much, which ends up distracting them from achieving economic and financial success at the same rate as their male peers. So yeah, food for thought. That's all I have for today. Let me know in the comments what you think about dieting, what you think about these trends, whether you think they work, whether you're against them, for them. I'd love to hear what you all have to say, and thank you for spending this piece of your day with me, and I'll see you next time. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye!
Hi, this is Morale Fiber. Welcome to my Flower Child pullover joining tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover rounds 8 through 12 of the shaping and joining of this crochet design. This is a supplement to the written pattern, so to work this tutorial, you are going to need the written pattern, which is available for purchase in my pattern stores. I'm going to link those in the description below the video. This tutorial covers the size medium, and in the first part we add an extra round 8 to the size medium.
What's up, Greg, and welcome back to the Beef Zone, baby. This is where we talk about the internet's hottest drama going on right now. Today we're going to be talking about Axel Weber. He's a TikTok star, and he's already started one of the year's most insane internet quarrels. I don't particularly talk about internet drama too much on my channel, but I had to do an installment of the Beef Zone just this once because this is a pretty unique case. I don't think I've ever seen anybody start an internet beef quite like this before, and that's because this dude Axel has started a feud with a college. This dude has started beef with a 4-year accredited institution. I've never seen that happen before. Other influencers are out here starting beefs with each other because of like messy breakups, problematic tweets. This dude's out here starting beef with institutions. That's crazy. I'm gonna start doing that. The DMV, you're done. You're canceled. I had to wait in line once 5 years ago when I got my license renewed. You're done. Everybody go harass the DMV now, please. No, don't actually do that. This dude, Axel Weber, he's a very popular TikToker. He's got 3.9 million followers. He is, okay. What was that? It looked like he was calling me. Okay, it's to share to WhatsApp, I see. I click on it, he's like, hey dude, are you making a video about me right now? No. How did you know that? So yeah, he was already really popular on TikTok. He had like 1 million followers a couple months ago, and now he's skyrocketed to almost 3.9 million followers, mostly because of this series of videos he did auditioning for Juilliard's acting school, and he did not get in. And his fans were like so upset by this that they started a war with Juilliard, which like thrust Axel into the spotlight because all of these major news outlets were like covering this dude. And so now he has like almost 4 million followers literally because he didn't get into Juilliard. Kind of crazy considering I also didn't get into Juilliard and I don't have 4 million followers on TikTok. So what happened with that? I didn't even get an audition with Juilliard. They didn't even offer me one. How fucked up is that? Where are my fans? Greg, what's going on? It's just kind of crazy that you can get famous for not doing something impressive, you know? Like if he had gotten into Juilliard, that would be really cool. That'd be worth, you know, making a big stink about, I feel like, because like nobody gets into Juilliard. Dude, did you hear about that guy who's going viral because he's gonna try to climb Mount Everest blindfolded with his hands tied behind his back? Oh no way, dude, that sounds insane. Did he actually do it? No, no, actually he did not. He's dead. He died. Not even on the mountain either. He choked on a granola bar on the flight to Mount Everest. And he's going viral? Yeah, dude, his funeral has 800 million likes. So I feel like to fully appreciate this story, we kind of have to go back to the beginning where it all began. So in December of 2021, just about a month ago, Axel had just moved to New York. He's pursuing acting. He's making a bunch of TikToks about living in the world's smallest apartment, and he has just hit 1 million followers on TikTok.
Hi, we just hit 1 million on TikTok. Come on.
I can see why he had followers to begin with. He's like a charismatic guy. I'm sure people think he's handsome. He's got personality. He does his little dancey dance. Look at him go. But little did Axel know at the time that one Juilliard audition would change his life forever. And not because he did a good job, but because he did so bad that it changed his life forever.
Dear Axel, on behalf of the Juilliard division, thank you for your interest in our program and for sharing your talent with the faculty during the initial audition. As you are already aware, due to our callback process, you are no longer under consideration for admission for fall 2022.
It sounds like he already knew he wasn't getting in. It's kind of fucked up that they even sent him the letter. You already know this because we didn't give you a callback after your audition, but just so you know, you're still not accepted to Juilliard. You still did a really bad job. There's no chance of you getting in here. How many times do they have to tell him he didn't get into Juilliard? Damn. They just send him a letter every year. Dear Axel, as you may have guessed, as you are 2 years into going to a completely different school for a completely different degree, you did not get into Juilliard. Your audition was very bad, Axel. You ruined your chances of an acting career, Axel. Over the past 2 years, we have been telling every casting director and pretty much everyone who works in the industry how bad your audition was. We've had a lot of time to destroy your career, Axel, and we've done it. So it's a pretty sad video of him not getting into his dream school. I definitely feel for him, and a lot of other people did too. So basically what happened after that is a bunch of people started rallying to support him. You had like all of his own fans commenting, being like, fuck Juilliard, dude, you don't need Juilliard. Even some celebrities weighed in.
Hello, Axel.
Hi, Charlie.
I replied to your video, but I figured I'd do a video message as well.
Appreciate it.
Not only did I not get into Juilliard, but I didn't get into 5 of these prestigious schools that I wanted to get into that I thought could better my career.
Don't believe it.
And while I do think school is great, and I did end up going to Berkeley,
Okay.
a prestigious
Berkeley,
conservatory for the arts
congrats.
is not going to be the thing that defines your career as an actor.
Ooh.
Honestly, I mean, it's a sweet sentiment, and I agree with the message. You know, not every famous actor went to a super prestigious school like Juilliard to learn how to act. You know, some just had rich parents, and so that's how they got into it. Lucky for him, I feel like he seems to like Charlie Puth. I feel like this video would not be nearly as impactful if it was like some guy that Axel does not care about. There's a video of Vanilla Ice being like, take it from me, Vanilla Ice. I didn't get into Juilliard either, but that didn't stop me from becoming the 20th most famous person for 1 month in 1995 and then slowly slipping into obscurity for the rest of my life. Axel's like, oh, thanks, dude. Does anyone else want to chime in? Did anyone else not get into Juilliard? Someone with like a lifelong body of work? Someone with a really impressive career? It wasn't just like celebrities reaching out to Axel either. There were like different organizations being like, hey, you don't need Juilliard, dude. Come work with us and we'll get you to where you want to be in your career.
I didn't get into Juilliard. We know that.
And I did get another letter to prove it. This is the 17th one they've sent me now.
But I did get a modeling contract with one of the largest agencies in the world.
So I am a little confused about how this happened or why Axel seems to be so like excited about it. It does seem to be like totally unrelated to what he said his dream was. I thought he wanted to be an actor and go to a prestigious acting school. Like, does he even want to be a model? I don't know if he's ever mentioned it before. I watched a few of his TikToks from like before that, and it seemed like he really wanted to be an actor. It's like a totally different industry. All right, guys, you know that my dream of becoming a professional actor didn't work out, but I am still gonna be working in the industry, it turns out. I got a job at a movie theater. I think I may be able to work my way up from there. I think you'll be seeing me on the big screen real soon. It's just weird to see him going from not getting into a school that he wasn't qualified for to getting a job that it seems like he is even less qualified for, because I assume he at least had some sort of like acting prowess or like did some sort of acting before he started applying to acting schools. But modeling, it's like he didn't even want to do that before. Not only did he get a modeling job out of getting rejected from Juilliard, he also got a New York Times article.
We just made the New York Times. When Axel Weber was rejected from Juilliard, the internet stepped in.
The article is basically covering how all of Axel's fans flooded the Juilliard Instagram account to like lambast them in the comments. Which, to be fair, Axel does say like, don't do that.
More than anything, we cannot bash Juilliard though. They're just doing their job.
I don't want to lead you into thinking that Axel like actively encouraged this and like caused this to happen. Like he was like, fuck Juilliard. Everybody ripped them to shreds in the comments. But his videos did unintentionally have that consequence. And it's pretty crazy to read some of the comments that people have left on Juilliard's Instagram account. Let's take a look at some of them. Their most recent posts have like 0 comments, 1 comment, 6 comments. Let's go to around the time this Axel Weber drama was going on. 1,000 comments, 2,000 comments, 18,000 comments. 18,000? Dude, what were people saying? Let my boy Axel in. He deserves better. Let Axel in. Get my boy in. My dog died on campus and they tied me up and made me eat it. Doesn't have anything to do with Axel. Dude is just straight up slandering this university because his boy didn't get in. Don't worry, Axel. You should be glad you didn't get in there. All right? They made me eat my pet. You're gonna regret it when that man wins an Oscar. I honestly don't even think that they would regret it if he, like, ended up having a successful acting career. They really only care about the people they did admit having successful acting careers. In general, I've seen a lot of comments that have the same tone of, like, I bet Juilliard wishes they never rejected my man. And it's like, yeah. Probably, but I don't think it's for the reason you think. I don't think it's like the dean's office that are like, oh, we should have never said no. He's so talented. Look at him on TikTok doing his little dancey dance. He's wearing a sweater. He's modeling. Oh, what we could have had. No, it's not them, dude. It's the poor like 20-year-old marketing intern that runs the Juilliard school Instagram account. It's the person who keeps getting notifications on their phone saying like, let Axel in. New Instagram comment. Let Axel in. They're the one that's probably like, Jesus Christ, couldn't they just fucking accept this kid? I really like this comment. Let him in, you dogs. L school. Juilliard does not care, all right? They do not care that they have 18,000 comments on one post. The headmaster of Juilliard, what is it? What is like the person who is in charge called? Is it the dean? The headmaster? The principal? I went to college. I don't know why the president. We had a president of our school. I don't think the president is reading these comments being like, L school. Oh, classes are canceled today. Go home. Everyone go home. It's also like, whoa, dude, don't start insulting the kid's dream school. You're not really rooting for him if you're like, oh, you wanted to go to that L school, Axel? That decrepit excuse for a school run by dogs? I definitely feel bad for whatever school he applies to next if he ever tries to apply for colleges again. When they get that application, they're just gonna like start sweating immediately. All right, who's next on the list of applicants? All right, no pressure, but if we don't let this kid in, we're gonna get doxxed and swatted. Right now, you're probably wondering, like, what were Axel's chances of getting into Juilliard? Like, was he a shoo-in and like a really good actor and had like an insane experience? What is this guy's qualifications? First off, let's look up how hard is it to get into Juilliard. Spelled Juilliard wrong, so I am definitely not going to get in. Admission to Juilliard is highly competitive with an overall acceptance rate between 5 and 8%. So it's an extremely difficult school to get into. Obviously, it's like insanely prestigious. But you know, maybe he killed his audition. Maybe he's a great actor. So let's see. He has a TikTok talking about how his audition went. So let's hear in his own words how he describes it.
Here's how you absolutely botch a Juilliard audition. Remember I said the only thing I can't do is an accent? I did an accent. I couldn't help it. I just Oberon to make him smile. It just sounds better when he sounds like he came straight out of an HBO show.
All right, I know it's not the point of the TikTok, but what does he mean I couldn't help it when he said he did the accent? Like, did you prepare your audition and not practice an accent at all? And then the second you get into your audition, you're like, hello, governor. Why am I talking like this? Oh, no. Did you really just decide to do an accent on the fly? Because, like, holy shit, what a bad idea. Of course you didn't get into Juilliard, dude. You went off book. You became a different nationality. Live.
The guy gave me absolutely no reaction. He just stared right into my soul.
I feel like that's kind of how auditions go, though. If you do a really great job, they're not supposed to be like, like right off the bat. I think they're supposed to play it cool because they can't like make you think you got the part just in case, you know, someone even better comes in and then they have to give it to that person. And what reaction was he expecting? Guys, I don't think my audition went very well. The admissions director didn't even come. He just said, thanks, that'll be all. You know what he should have done if he wanted to impress them? He should have came into the audition speaking in a British accent, and then when he was actually reading his monologue, switched to his regular American accent. They would have been blown away.
I have an audition for Juilliard, January 9th. I have to learn some Shakespeare. Never even read Hamlet. I jest to Oberon and make him smile when I a fat and bean-fed horse beguile, neighing in likeness of a filly foal, and sometimes I lurk in a gossip's bowl. I don't understand what's happening.
Not that I really think that this made a difference, but just a word of advice. If you're applying for a college, I wouldn't post on your like public social media something about like the application process or the audition process being like, I don't know what the fuck this means. This shit's dumb, dude. Shakespeare sounds like an idiot, man. It's also weird that like after all of these videos of him being like, I don't know what the fuck Shakespeare is, and him being like, I randomly did an accent at the audition, that all of his fans still have his back. And they're still like, you deserve to get into Juilliard. Don't worry. We'll take it from here. We're gonna get you into Juilliard. We're gonna storm Juilliard for you, buddy. Don't worry. Anything to get you in. All of this brings up a bigger topic of like, why are people so invested in this guy getting into Juilliard? This guy who like has literally shown no prowess, no acting prowess whatsoever. He's been like, I botched my audition. I don't fuck with Shakespeare. He seems like a nice kid too. I just don't understand why people are like so ride or die for Axel getting into Juilliard. Probably a decent amount of them are joking and just thought it would be funny to like get way too into it and take his side. But I do think it's also kind of like the cute teen white boy effect, where like a fan base of 12-year-olds will literally do anything for a white guy that they think is cute. You know who I think probably hates this more than anyone? The students who actually did get into Juilliard. Just
Hydration
seeing this
check,
dude get
save your progress.
rejected and be rewarded for like his not being very good at acting with a modeling contract and an extra 3 million followers. Meanwhile, you get into Juilliard and you get rewarded with student loans. I think that this guy is benefiting from a lot of privilege and maybe not realizing it. I don't know, man. He seems like a sweet kid, but also is sort of coming off a little bit like, I deserve this. Like he moved to New York expecting to get into one of the top 10 acting schools. Like that's why he says he lives in this apartment. And it seems like that sense of entitlement has been picked up a little bit by his fans as well. The whole thing kind of reminds me of like the Alex from Target phenomenon when like just this random cute boy got like thrust into the spotlight and millions of followers because he was like attractive once. I don't know. Let's see how his modeling career is going. I wonder if he's posted any updates on that. Oh, this TikTok is called First Photo Shoot. He's a natural. All right. Well, that's pretty much the whole Axel Weber thing. It seems like he's doing good now. He's got his modeling career going, and I guess we'll be seeing him on the cover of Vogue pretty soon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do and you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Pew, pew, pew! Ow! Lasers! Hello! Here is some news! Some future news! Bing, 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 pew, 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 pew! More laser sounds! Robot fucking! The Tron Legacy soundtrack, and so on. It is time to talk about the metaverse! Run the 4D title sequence! No title sequence? Okay, fine. I'm not mad at all. Hold on one second. Text Katie. Need 4D title sequence when you get a sec. TNX. Alright, she will probably get back to me. We're pals anyway. As you probably heard, experts have predicted that by the year 2030, a great deal of us will be living in this upcoming metaverse. Sounds exciting and radical. And by experts, I actually mean a New York Post interview with several futurists and VR enthusiasts. Futurology, of course, being the practice of guessing what the future will be like, and sometimes being right, because that's how guessing works. But still, Lawnmower Man shit, The Matrix and such, how cool is that? No, seriously, I'm asking, how cool is that? Is it cool? Like, do the teens think the metaverse is cool? Because, boy, I gotta say, it doesn't actually look,
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. All right, perfect. Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
Hi,
Mark.
Mark. What's up, Mark? Whoa, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome.
Woof! He is not a charismatic man. So, I don't know. I guess that does look neat. Neat-ish, but also just use Tabletop Simulator or like one of the many poker simulators out there. Also, that's just a video they made and not the metaverse. Like Elon Musk putting a guy in a suit and calling it a robot. Whatever. I have to assume we're not required to play poker with Mark Zuckerberg himself and that he largely won't be involved in our metaverses. So that makes it marginally better. But this video does remind us of the looming specter that Facebook will be in this new virtual existence. And yes, I'm going to refer to Facebook as Facebook and not Meta, which is technically their new name. Sorry, it's Facebook. Anyway, since this announcement, we're also seeing companies like Microsoft and Apple and I guess Walmart all begin to hype up their own future metaverse for all the kids to rave about. Although I'm pretty sure teenagers don't hang out at Walmarts by choice. Nevertheless, it's the future! Pew, 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 right? Living and existing in a virtual world. And here at the Shody, we are down with the future and progress and not just fearing new things, even if they look really, really stupid. Which is why we're pulling out all the stops for this metaverse special. Maybe we'll even jump into a virtual world in this episode. Perhaps we have our own metaverse to share. Some kind of Cody avatar? That would be cute. You'll have to watch to find out. Anything can happen. Katie, hopefully. Yeah, all right. Out seeing Moonfall. Don't ever text again. How dare you? Okay, well. Still, we definitely have a fun show. I can run this metaverse myself, right? And it's gonna be big and fun. And one thing's for sure, by the time this is over, I'm gonna have an exciting hot take on the metaverse. You better believe it. I just have to hold on. What exactly is the metaverse? Oh. So just like Second Life? Well, okay, shucks and darn. It turns out that the metaverse, as everyone is defining it, is just a 3D virtual world representing social interactions, which I'm pretty sure is just online multiplayer video games. PlayStation Home, Grand Theft Auto, and World of Warcraft would probably count as a metaverse in this sense. Remember The Matrix Online? No? Well, it looked neat-ish, and I guess the only reason we're talking about this again is because of new technology like the Oculus Rift and other VR and augmented reality glasses. In theory, we're going to be able to enjoy these 3D spaces a bit more if we have the ability to experience them in VR. Something that a lot of people with absolutely no hard data seem to predict will be a booming industry. But as of right now, the clearest estimate says that only about 60 million people currently use VR. And that's not even people who own a headset, just people estimated to have tried VR at least once per month. This estimate goes on to say that only 6.1 million VR units will be sold in 2021. Here's another article saying that Oculus specifically sold between 5.3 million and 6.8 million VR devices in 2021. Again, everyone keeps saying that this number will grow, but just so we're clear, there were people saying that Google Glass was going to make billions of dollars by 2018. So again, just guessing. But here's the thing. VR is actually pretty neat and has advanced quite a bit since the days of Virtual Boy. It's not a fad like Google Glass was and will probably get more popular in the coming years. But there's still a lot of guesswork when it comes to technology that people have to wear on their stupid bodies. Not sure if you've been paying attention the last few years, but people don't love wearing stuff on their faces. The smart money is almost always on people rejecting gizmos like smart glasses and high-tech shirts and talking butt plugs and stuff like that. In exceptions like the Apple Watch, it's still a growing but niche market. And what Mark Zuckerberg and others like him are proposing is a world where people would be spending long periods of their day shopping and working in this metaverse reality.
Imagine if you could be at the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space, those chance interactions that make your day all accessible from anywhere.
Ah, sweet! Crowded office simulator. That's just what we want. So in that video, a man is able to put on a small pair of glasses to enter this metaverse. This is the augmented reality promise of Facebook's Project Nazare. And heck, that would be really cool for activities that perhaps aren't just centered around work. After all, we sure did love catching all them Pokemon freaks. Except the video goes on to very quickly include this later in the demo.
There's a lot of technical work to get this form factor and experience right. We have to fit hologram displays, projectors, batteries, radios, custom silicon chips, cameras, speakers, sensors to map the world around you, and more into glasses that are about 5 millimeters thick. So we still have a ways to go with Nazare, but we are making good progress.
So, not exactly a thing that actually exists. It's sort of like if Steve Jobs announced the first iPhone by getting up on a stage and showing a drawing of a rectangle. Apps go here scribbled on it, a little arrow pointing to the screen that was drawn. But let's just assume, for the sake of not being bogged down by details, that they eventually nail the technology side of this. And in just a few short years, people will be able to wear customizable glasses that allow them to see the world through augmented reality, coupled with lightweight VR headsets so that they can also exist in this fabled metaverse. Let's say it's as safe for kids as anything else is, and as affordable as a smartphone. Without all those limitations, would people be into the metaverse? The answer? Who in the shit knows for sure? As I noted at the top of this video, predicting the future is just throwing out guesses. And I think it's just easier to assume something will become popular. There are, of course, scores of examples of people boldly making the wrong predictions about things like the internet and smartphones being fleeting fads. And so no one wants to be the one dipshit late to the party. This is the dreaded fear of missing out, where people invest big in something despite that thing being, perhaps, clearly dumb. Because no one wants to be the person not buying Apple stock in the 80s, and we're gonna get to that as it pertains to the metaverse for sure. But if you want to hear this Cody's opinion on it, well, here's what I think. You have like a cool space. I zip through a cyberspace, you know, so, like Cody's Nodies graphic where I make predictions about the future. Hello? Is anyone... Fine. Here's my take. The technology of the metaverse, as in augmented and virtual reality, is clearly a thing we want and have wanted since mankind looked to the stars.
I don't know if anyone's still there, but if you are, I gotta sign off for now. So, good night. See you later.